Good morning, good night, and good evening, my motherfucking royals. I think it's like May 16th. I haven't posted in a while. It was my birthday last Friday. I turned 30, and it's crazy because I still feel just like I did when I was 18. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe y'all resonate with that. But I just kind of vibed out for the weekend. Didn't do too much. What I wanted to talk about today was the movie Sinners. I'm going to try not to drop any spoilers in here, but if you haven't seen the movie, maybe you don't want to watch this video yet, right? And so originally, when I heard about the movie, I watched a preview and all that stuff, I was like, no, I'm not going to watch that. And I saw a lot of people talking about, oh, there's hoodoo and there's all this stuff in it. Like, don't watch it. Excuse me. And so originally I wasn't going to go watch it, but I ended up going to see it. And I did use Paulo beforehand and after the movie. But after watching the movie, really the only hoodoo that was in the movie was used for protection, at least what it looked like, right? So, and there didn't really seem like there was certain things present that I would say are present with like other movies, like if you watch certain like supernatural movies, right? Or if you watch like scary movies and they have like incantations in them, like I'll always say never like let those play through your TV and stuff like that, because stuff can come through the TV. I feel like actually Sinners had a lot of like hidden messages in there, not just for me, but I feel like for you all as well. So the very first message that struck me, right, was I had gotten this energy, or I had gotten this like this download from source, that there's a snake in the energy, right? My energy as well as the collective energy. And so before I had gone to see the movie Sinners, I had gone outside and it had rained and there was a wet spot on the pavement and it looked like a snake with its head cut off. So I was like, okay, like the snake is about to be like weeded out, like the snake's about to get cut off, is about to be out of the energy, right? And then okay, maybe there is going to be a spoiler. And then in Sinners, there's a scene where they open their truck up and there's a rattlesnake in there, and they end up stabbing the snake through the head and killing the snake. So off rip, I was like, oh my God, confirmation for what like I had already been told, right? And so the next thing that I feel like was the absolute biggest message of the movie, yeah, okay, I don't know why I said there's not going to be spoilers, because I'm definitely talking about the movie, so there's definitely going to be some spoilers. 3, 4, 5 as I was looking up. But I feel like the biggest takeaway from that was you really have to be careful who you allow into your energy. So I know a lot of people after seeing the movie were taking their welcome mats from their front door. I've said this before, but maybe if you didn't watch, or maybe if you weren't like following me at that point in time, you should not have a welcome mat at your front door, because you're not just welcoming anybody that comes to your house, you're welcoming any type of spirits that might be in the area or might be following you around. You're welcoming them directly into your home with that welcome mat. So welcome mat isn't really a good idea. But so the other thing from that, right, is if you saw the movie, then you know what I'm talking about. 444 is that a lot of times, right, with being careful who you allow in your energy, a lot of times we attract certain things, and a lot of times, oh, there's 111 on the dash, And a lot of times we allow things into our energy without realizing it, right? And so sometimes certain things will be happening 505, and certain entities will be like feeding off of you, attacking you, that kind of thing. And you don't realize that at some level you've actually invited them or have given them permission. Now, if you've seen the movie, then you would know that certain things that were in the movie, they needed permission physically to enter the building in which everyone was, right? Like, they couldn't just walk in. They would come to the door and they would be like, so are you gonna let me in? Like, are you gonna like let me walk in, you know, type shit. And that's because like they had to get that permission. They had to get that access from the person to be able to afflict them, right? 555 as I'm looking up. And so always make sure, like I said, they can, like, certain entities, they can attack you through like negative thoughts. It could be like I said, it could be like a teeny tiny thought in which you might brush off as like subconscious or a bad thought, and really that could have been like, you know, an entity trying to gain access to you. Because I already told you, right, if you've been following me, not every thought that comes into your head is your thoughts, right? Like, you have an active voice in your head when you're actively thinking. You have the voice that tells you good things, and you might have voices that tell you bad things, right? Even if it all sounds like you in your head, like any type of negative, like anxiety causing, fear causing thoughts, those are not you. Those are not your thoughts, and you should not be paying them any mind, right? And so if you do feel like something's going on, then you should be always like cleansing and renouncing any pacts that you may or may not have been aware of or conscious of making, right? I was just listening to a meditation today, and Steve Nobel, Nobel, like Nobel Prize or Noble, I don't know exactly how he pronounces it. I live by his meditations ever since I awakened, like years ago. I use one of his meditations every single day. And so, and he's like, and in this decree, I renounce any pacts or any agreements that I may not have been aware of making with any entities or extraterrestrials or like anything like that. Because like I said, it could be something small. It could be like you had a certain dream, and while you were in the dream, you might have said yes to something, and that could have been like a demonic attack or something like that, right? These are all things to think about. And so, you know, some people use Palo Santo. I have sage upstairs. You can use sage to cleanse. You know, I see a lot of stuff going on like, oh, sage attracts spirits and all this shit. Fuck all that noise. You're going to know what's going to work for you. And I've been using sage for years. I've been using Palo Santo for years, and never, ever, ever have I once lit some to cleanse myself and been like, oh my God, now there's a bunch of spirits around. It never happened, right? So always, like, especially if you have those negative thoughts or if you have suspect dreams, make sure that you're taking the time and be like, hey, God, like, I feel like maybe this is happening. I feel like maybe this type of energy is trying to latch onto me. Like, can we clear that, right? So, you know, watch out, like I said, for, you know, entities trying to gain access to you. The next thing that I wanted to talk about with that, especially because in the movie it did, it had it to like kind of an extent, but we call it the Agent Smith paradigm. If you have never seen The Matrix, then basically like Agent Smith is part of the program, right? Agent Smith is part of the Matrix, and its design is to keep people asleep. It's designed to keep people in the Matrix. So if people start waking up, if people start like expanding their consciousness, or in the case of the Matrix, getting unplugged and stuff like that, then Agent Smith will show up, and they will basically try to get rid of or derail or lower the vibration of that person again, right? And so if you are high vibe, or if you are in a good space, and you are protecting your peace and all of that stuff, right? What the enemy might do, instead of trying to attack you directly, right? Because you've been putting in this energy, right? You might have your crystals, you might just have been 1010 as I'm saying that, you might have been actually physically like envisioning like a protective bubble or something along those lines around you. But now the enemy's like, okay, I can't get to him, right? I can't get to her. So now what the enemy is going to do is they're going to try to attack someone close to you, because they know that you're going to let that person in your energy. And so then the enemy can now work through that person to try to take your energy down, to try to afflict you with that. So now, because this person had an attachment and you allowed them into your energy, now you're going to be having to deal with that attachment, right? And so it makes me think of this lady. She was like, a lot of y'all kind of feel stuck at certain times because you like to steal, not physically steal, but you see like people that might be afflicted, or you see people that might be having problems and stuff like that, 1111, and you pick up that baggage, right? And that baggage was never meant for you to pick up. So you definitely have to try your hardest to keep your energy safe and secure. Like, no matter what you're doing, like no matter what I'm doing, I always am trying to push everyone else's energy away from me. Like, I have this is a biofield protector. I got it off Etsy, and down the road, the neighbor's light just flashed. So maybe that's a sign. I got this off Etsy. If I actually, you know what, I'm not gonna say if I remember, I'll go ahead and I'll post the link on like the video in the comments or whatever, or I'll like put it up here somewhere. And basically, for those of you that don't know, it pretty much puts you in like a little bubble, and it pushes everybody else's energy away from you. And so, like I said, always, you know, your energy extends well beyond us. Like just because my hand ends here doesn't mean that's where my energy ends, right? And so you definitely want to always be making sure that you're not picking up what's not meant for you, and that you're not stepping in shit, if you know what I mean. And so let's see, we talked about that. We talked about the fucking Agent Smith paradigm. Oh, the other thing is touching, right? Touching, obviously. Anytime you touch someone, there is an energy transfer going on there. And so, like low vibrational people, if they're constantly touching you, they're fucking up your energy. 1313. They are fucking up your energy, and that's gonna like disrupt. Like, have you ever noticed, like, you could be feeling good, you could be in a good mood, and then maybe like somebody walks by and they touch you, and immediately your energy changes? That's because they just deposited their shitty energy onto you. And so, like, I meditate every day. I eat good. I ground. I know my energy is good, right? So if I touch someone, I know that they're just getting a piece of my good energy. And I do that all the time. I share my energy with people, like, as I go about my day, you know? But on the flip side, like, I definitely like try to ensure that nobody touches me that I do not want touching me, because nobody's on the same level of me as meditating and all that shit where I am. So 1414. So everybody around me has a lower vibrational energy than me. So, you know, I'm gonna be careful with that. So we talked about the freaking Agent Smith paradigm. We talked about the so the next thing I want to talk about, okay, the next thing I want to talk about, I've talked about it before, but, you know, maybe you, like I said, maybe you didn't follow me, maybe you haven't seen me, maybe this is your first video and intro to spiritual shit, right? So the next thing we want to talk about is cord cuttings, soul attachments, that kind of thing, cords of attachment. I've already talked about this before, but I feel like I need to talk about it again real quick. If you are in like any type of traumatic situation or even just day-to-day life, whenever you allow someone in your energy, whenever you are, whenever you might be having intercourse with somebody 15-15, like you are going to form a cord of attachment, right? And so, oh, I know you heard that, excuse me. You're going to form a cord of attachment or a soul tie with that person. And so you can have a shit ton, right? And just like there's good connections, there's bad connections. And so I do cord cuttings for people. I actually have to do one for one of my friends. But this is something that you could either have somebody help you do. This is something that you can do yourself, or this could just be something that, you just pray and you're like, God, like, please remove any negative cords of attachment, any negative soul ties that I might have with any people or any entities or like anything like that, because ultimately, like, those people are feeding off of your energy. 1616, when you have a negative soul attachment with somebody, that person is feeding off your energy. That person is drawing your energy from you. And usually what will happen is when you sever those ties, they'll feel it, and then they'll start trying to reach out to you because they can now feel that they're not getting the energy from you like they used to. Oh, I said 1616. There's 16 right there. 16 right there. Crazy work. Let's see if there's... So I basically, yeah, so if you're spiritually in tune, right, and you're trying to do a cord cutting, go down for medication, go down for meditation, which I guess you could say is medication, right? Go down for meditation, and like once you're in the space, right, you're calm, envision your astral body, or try to see with your mind's eye either your astral body or your light body, whichever. And when you really focus in on it, you should be able to see blue or red cords. The red cords are all of the ones that you want to sever. Usually I end up calling on Archangel Michael 1818 and Source to help me remove all of these cords. And like when you're done, you feel so much better. And also on the flip side, even though it's not a negative cord of attachment with somebody, it could still be draining you, and it could mess up the energy that you're trying to create, right? So when you're trying to manifest a specific outcome, the less energy and the less people attached to you, the better. Like, I constantly am trying to make sure that I have like no cords on me, like, because I live in a very specific bubble, and to create the reality that I want, I cannot afford other people's energy in my energy. Like 1919, it's just like that, right? So definitely make sure that y'all are paying attention. That was the other thing, is that I don't have to tell y'all have been alive long enough. Like, not everybody that has a smile or a pretty face or a handsome face or everybody that seems helpful is actually helping, right? because a lot of times the enemy will send in people to you, and those people will, you know, talk good, they'll act good, and they'll smile, they'll look nice, and really their only main objective is to find out how they can get close to you so that they can sabotage you, right? And while they might not physically cause harm, like in a physical sense, they could very easily cause spiritual harm or like mental harm or emotional harm, right? So, I mean, that could look like a lot of things, right? Like you being like, oh, I think I'm gonna push for this. And they're like, nah, you shouldn't do that. It's not the right time. Or nah, like you're gonna get hurt doing that, or like this and that. You know what I mean? Like it's like that type of energy. Like, so always use your discernment when it comes to people. And I would say, like, if you know for a fact that you're getting ready to level up, that you're getting ready to ascend to the next level, don't just not trust anyone, but be weary of who's coming in, because you will be attracting soul fam. You will be attracting the people that God wants in your life, but you're also going to be attracting all of the people that the devil or the darkness or the enemy is trying to send in to sabotage you. And like I said, sabotage could look like anything. It could look like anything from physically trying to do things to you to literally just distracting you so that you can't do what you need to do, so that it takes, so maybe they might take attention from your purpose, right? You could be highly focused on something, then you can meet someone, and then all of a sudden you're spending all your time with this person and you're not doing what God told you to do. That's a problem. That's like the enemy attacking you, right? So with that, I feel like I can end it here. I love you all, you know, much love to everybody as always. If y'all want a cord cutting from me, you know, you can hit me up. If y'all want, if y'all want a cord cutting, hit me up. If y'all need readings, hit me up. I am trying to get on a steady schedule so that I can, you know, really I'm trying to get back on my old schedule, 22-22, where I open the restaurants every day. I mean, I'm really trying to find a new job, but really I'm trying to get back on openings. That way when I get off work, I can do what I need to do, and then I can knock out readings and stuff like that for people after I meditate, because I do miss giving readings all the time. And you know, I mean, speaking of which, I might record a reading right after this, because fuck it, why not? But yeah, I love y'all as always, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend.